Hi, Abby. I'm Rachel.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for coming today. Welcome to Nationwide Children's Hospital. We're so glad that you and your parents decided to come in today. To get started, I just wanted to tell you about our confidentiality piece, which basically means that if Abby were to share anything in session with me, unless it was a threat to herself or a harm to others, then I would tell your parents. So now I'm going to ask your parents to step out, and we're just going to have session individually. Do you have any questions about confidentiality? Okay, sounds good. So, there's a certain type of therapy that we do here at Children's. Have your parents mentioned that to you?
Yeah, they said something about motivational something.
Yeah, so motivational interviewing is a therapy style that we use, and it's going to be a conversation between the two of us to elicit some sort of change within you with whatever kind of you came here for. So I'm really going to focus on your strengths in this conversation, building a partnership between the two of us, and really trying to accept and show compassion to you in this conversation to see if we can decide on some sort of middle ground to create a change by the end of our session.
I've never been to therapy before, so is this type of therapy, I don't know.
Is this normal?
Yeah.
Everyone kind of has their own practice, but this is what we promote here at the hospital just because we find it to be the best in a long period of time, because it's a change that you're bringing on upon yourself. It's not me telling you to do something. You're willing to change by the end of the few sessions that we have together.
Okay.
So it's really going to look more like a dance. It's not going to be like a wrestling match between the two of us. We're going to really just have fine conversation between the two of us, and yeah, go from there. So first, I guess we can start off by, if you want to just tell me a little bit about why you think your parents thought it was best for you to come to session and start some therapy today.
Well, in my parents' eyes, I haven't really been listening to them. I've been hanging out with my friends Allie and Abby for as long as I can remember, and ever since we got to high school, they're just not thrilled about the way that I've been acting or behaving or staying out late. So they kind of wanted me to talk with someone to kind of get a different perspective, because obviously I think they're my parents and I don't think they know much, so.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is kind of a frustration that you're facing towards your parents. Like you feel like this is kind of unfair.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me more about where you feel like that disagreement is coming from.
I feel like they don't like my friends. So I feel like that has stepped into our relationship, because I tend to like side with my friends and hang out with them more than I would agree with the way that they are seeing things at this time.
Sure. Tell me about your friends. How do you guys hang out together?
Well, typically we like to go to like the sports games, like the football games on Friday night. So we typically always go there together, and then afterwards we might get some of the football guys on the team and then go to get food, and then maybe we'll go over to someone's house and kind of go to like an after party sort of thing.
Okay.
And then sometimes on Saturdays we hang out during the day and go shopping, and then at night it's just kind of whatever we want that night to look like.
Okay, so that sounds like a typical hangout session with some friends. Can you share more about maybe what your parents think is not appropriate in those hangout sessions?
I think that they're worried about what's going on at the after party events.
And has there been anything happening at an after party where the cops had to get involved, where your safety was questioned or you were in a dangerous situation?
Never where I was in a dangerous situation, but yeah, cops were involved maybe like once or twice.
Okay. So I can maybe see that it's a question of safety that they're trying to look at. So, I mean, I totally understand that your friends are important to you. and that's great that you have them in your life. So maybe let's think about, like, tell me what school looks like for you. Do you have a lot of friends at school that are the same, or do you have like two different sets of groups of friends?
Definitely two different, because Abby and Allie are, I'm in like the AP classes in school, and Abby and Allie are not in those, so I have like school friends in my AP classes, and then my other friends that I hang out with outside of school.
Oh, so you're in AP classes.
Yeah.
So you're really smart.
No, not really.
Well, it sounds like if you're qualified to take these classes, then like you got some strengths under your belt. So. And your parents are probably really proud of you for that.
I think so.
So they probably have like paved this path for you to take these classes and set you up for success. Can you tell me what year in school you are?
I'm a junior.
So next year you'll be looking at colleges and like where you want to apply to, and like really getting that GPA where you want it to be.
It's definitely on their radar.
Yeah. So I mean, that sounds like something that's important to you, that you take school seriously and important to your parents. But maybe like the friends outside of school is just like really where you want to spend your time.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering if you could ever introduce some behaviors to your friends or some hangouts with your friends that maybe your parents would be more approving of, like if you were maybe staying at their place, or if you like went to the football games with them and dinner with them, but then like maybe you didn't go to the after party. What would that look like to you?
I feel like I would be missing out.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like maybe, like I feel like my parents are making judgments where they don't know everyone, so maybe I could suggest like hosting something at our place so then my parents could get to know some of the other people I'm hanging out with too.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think they would like that too. I mean, I know it's hard to see this from your parents' eyes, and I'm definitely not trying to do that. I'm meeting you where you're at and helping you, and I'm totally on your side. So that would be pretty tough to like have to try to sacrifice the fun hangouts that all your friends want to do just for your parents' benefit.
Totally. I feel like I would lose a large chunk of my social life.
Yeah, and we don't want that. That's important to you. So how can we maintain a social life outside of school? I'm just trying to think. Do you see your school friends outside of school a lot?
Not really.
They
I
kind
feel
of do
like
different
I kind of
things?
have my like group. I wouldn't call it a clique, but like it's definitely just expected that we're just gonna hang out with each other on the weekends.
Yeah. So I wonder what that would be like if you hung out with your school friends outside of class.
I mean, I think it could be fun, especially if I see them at the football games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they would be interested in hanging out and like going shopping or something like that on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think that would be like?
I think it could be fun. I think I would be nervous to like try to join like a bunch of people together, especially with like having my school friends and then my other group and bringing them into that. But I would be willing to hang out with them one-on-one.
Yeah. So what I hear you telling me is that there might not be the most ideal set of friends hanging out with outside of school, but they're priority to you during the day while you're at school. So there's something about them that you really enjoy being around.
Yeah, for sure.
And they probably have similar priorities when it comes to school and taking those harder classes to prepare yourself for college as well.
Yeah, they definitely do.
So
but my other friends are just really fun.
Yeah, and that's also important in life too. So finding a balance between the two. So kind of to summarize what we've talked about today, you've done such a good job like sharing with me your priorities between school and college and classes and friends and a social life, but hesitant to really come to the middle between what your parents want and what you're finding. But if we can find a middle ground, that's something that you're interested in doing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see myself like asking someone else to hang out, or hanging out with them after the football game, someone from school maybe. So, yeah, I can see myself trying.
That's great. I mean, just a little bit of wanting to try and go from there, and we can work on that more next time, and you can tell me maybe if you try to do that sometime in between these sessions, you can let me know how that goes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And we can talk about that more at that point. Well, it was really brave of you to come in and share and meet me today because we were strangers before this. And I really appreciate everything that you shared with me. So, in summary, I guess have a great weekend and hang out with both groups of friends. And maybe when you're at the football game, you can spend more time with your school friends too and see how that goes.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm
Thanks so
excited
much.
for the football game.
You should be. Have a great weekend. It was
Thanks.
so nice to meet you.
Thanks, you too.